Yo guys, what's going on? How you doing? How are we all doing, guys? I hope we're all doing well. All right, having to fix my setup in real time. Just finished watching Atletico Madrid versus Botafogo. 1-0. Atletico Madrid won it, but as we all know, Atletico Madrid is now officially out of the Club World Cup. And I think a pretty shocking result. I mean, when we look at it, the truth is as soon as we saw PSG had scored two against Seattle, I really was having doubts that, because of the goal difference, that Atletico Madrid had a chance, especially because Botafogo is a very defensive side. Same with Atletico Madrid, but we saw it today. Atletico Madrid are out. But let's talk about the game. Botafogo put up, I think, what we all expected them to do, which was defend, defend, defend. Dude, act like your grandma is gonna die if you don't defend. That's how they played. There was no way, shape, or form Botafogo was gonna let Atletico Madrid score willingly. Like they would literally let people die before they would let Atletico score. They did get a goal. Atletico did get a goal in the 87th minute from Griezmann. Obviously not enough to carry them out with the goal difference, but I think this game was exactly what we expected. Atletico Madrid has that background with Simeone's style and tactics of very defensive as well. This was a war. Now, I do want to talk about. I hate doing this. I hate doing this. All right, because I love football. I love good football, but we got to talk about the penalty calls, all right? I don't want to build this up like it's more than it is. I don't think it's some robbery. I don't think it's this or that or whatever Timmy's saying in the comments, bro. I don't care. I'm going to give you my opinion, all right? You are more than welcome to disagree with me. We all have opinions. That's the point. I have an opinion about these penalty calls or what wasn't a penalty call, and I'm going to just say what I think. And if y'all disagree, that's fine. And if y'all agree, that's fine. All right, that's the point. There's room for all here. I gotta be honest, guys. I just cannot understand. I cannot understand how Atletico did not get a single penalty call. All right, this structure of having VAR in the ref's ear and the on-field ref, if I'm just not understanding it, especially when it comes to stuff like this, when it looked like there was a possible penalty early on in the game, and they didn't even bother to go to review. And that's where I'm just confused, because it seems to me like the on-field ref is the one with all the real dictation on what happens, right? Whatever he says goes. Fine. But how does that work if the VAR referees or the VAR room has a completely different point of view, but the on-field ref has already moved on? Because I seriously don't understand how that first penalty wasn't even at all reviewed. Like, at all. They didn't even bother. They immediately moved on. That's a problem to me. That's a huge problem, because the whole point of this video review is so stuff like that doesn't happen, where it just goes unnoticed or whatever. So when you have these moments that, I hate when referees can have such a direct impact on the game. And honestly, if they given them that one penalty, I'm not saying they would win them the game. I don't think that's how it would work anyway, but that could have dictated the whole rest of the game, because it was very early. And because they never went to review it, Atletico players were riled up. They were so frustrated, and it was so apparent. Like, it was obvious how angry they were. Even for the second one, where, it got the second penalty call got called off because Sorloth had a push on one of the defenders, and that's obviously a foul, and then it canceled out the entire penalty call. Even for that one, before they went to the VAR, they were in the midfield, and the Atletico Madrid players were just trying to get the ball out of bounds and literally begging the ref, go to review, go to VAR, because the ref was just saying play on, no matter what. I'm okay with the ref saying, you know what? Play on, like, it's a rough sport. I get it. There's a difference between letting the game play on, like, just to keep going, and having no control of the game. That was horrible. I don't understand these calls. I don't understand how a ref can just sit there and just, like, literally the entire team is saying, stop and go check. Like, go watch the replay, because there's a foul. And the ref was so unbothered. Nothing. I don't get it. That first one was a penalty, and you know what? I'm not gonna argue the second one getting canceled because it's the rules, right? Fair enough. If they review it and it gets overturned, that's one thing. But not going at all to check, I don't get the point. I don't get the point of how you can just say, nah, I don't want to. Play on. What? It's your job, bro. Either way, Atletico Madrid is out. Again, it just sucks to see because Atletico looked... It just looked like they were frustrated. It looked like there was just clearly some calls that got to them, and they really just... You know, when you have players like DePaul as well that, you know, they dive for everything and they try to get any foul that they can. It's just a perfect storm. You know what I mean? Where they're just like, people are diving and then, you know, they're going to say, oh, they're against us. And I know for a fact, Simeone, the coach, is going to be losing his head because this was rough, man. From as the coach, this must have been really hard to deal with because, again, Botafogo was defending with their lives. Fair enough. They don't need the win, right, to move forward. Fair enough. I'm not even going to say anything bad about them. But I will say, to be so careless with defense, because it looks like at some point they got so comfortable with fouls and the physicality of it that they didn't care because the referee was probably not going to call it anyway. That's a problem. That seemed very apparent at some point in the game. Just so many tackles, so much physicality. For some, you know, I'm sure for some it was very entertaining, and you know what, it was entertaining, but it's also, you know, it leaves you with a sour taste in my mouth because I want to see good football. I don't want to see the referee being the reason why a team is knocked out. And I'm not saying that's what happened. Again, even if they gave the penalty, it looks like best case scenario would have been 2-0. It still wouldn't have been enough. But, you know, we're going in hypotheticals. That's not my point. My main point is there were calls that just were not called. That's the truth. And I don't like seeing games like that, especially when it's like, if you don't win, you get booted out of the tournament. Like, you can't just go with like this, like, Siga mentality. Like, just keep it going. Come on. Like, it's two of the most physical teams there are in this competition, one-on-one. All right. You just got to have a grip over the game. And I don't feel like this referee did. That's my opinion. But either way, PSG and Botafogo advanced to the round of 16. Again, I'm fully expecting for PSG to do well throughout this tournament. I'm really interested to see what team can... I mean, like, Atletico beat Botafogo, but again, they didn't need the win. I want to see what team is actually going to be able to break that defense down when it's like it matters, when it's like for the tournament elimination. I'm just curious to see because I really don't know. I don't know. And I don't want to see any like refereeing jobs like this again. I really hope that we just get more consistency with the referee. That's all I'm asking for. It is what it is. Botafogo advances. We'll see how the rest of the tournament goes. I also did want to talk about real quick. I didn't really care to watch the rest of this game. I stopped around halftime. Real Madrid versus Pachuca. This game was interesting because I think the thing that everyone noticed immediately was the red card, right? Immediately, look, you could be a Madrid fan, you could be a Barca fan. I don't care. You cannot tell me Asensio is like a dependable center back. I'm sorry. I'm really not getting this hype behind him or this. He just isn't that good, or at least he's in a bad spell. I don't know what it is, but this guy, when he defends, it looks like he's just lazy. I mean, to give up a red card 7 minutes in against Pachuca, dude, it looked like he just doesn't care. It looks like he's just out there because he feels like he has to be. I don't know. I feel like Real Madrid did, and the worst part is Real Madrid played a million times better the second he was off the field. The last game that he played, he gave a penalty against Al Hilal, which was the tying goal. I don't know what's going on with Asensio. I don't care, to be honest, because I personally don't like him. If you're a Madrid fan, how do you defend him right now? Because he's just a liability. I don't know how else you could look at it. He's just a liability. But the second he was gone, Bellingham scored a phenomenal, like, low-driven shot. beautiful goal. Goulet scored as well. You know, Goulet is actually a very promising talent that I was really surprised that last season Ancelotti wasn't using, because he's very effective. I think we'll see a lot more of him, especially under Xabi Alonso, because I think he sees a lot, or at least he sees the potential that Goulet could bring to the team. Then Valverde scored as well in the 70th minute. A very good performance from Real Madrid. I saw this this tactic that Ancelotti had when they were just trying to score and they couldn't, would just be, you know, the crossing in to the box, hoping it finds a head and someone scores. I haven't seen that under Xabi Alonso in that game, and I'm really happy to say that we could see a different Real Madrid than we did last season, because they needed a tactical change so bad. And this game, it looks like they're testing stuff out. It looks like they're gonna be probably really good next season, and they're improving. Hopefully, when we get Mbappe in the lineup, we'll actually see the real turnout of this tactical reset. But overall, 3-1. I didn't think Pachuca was gonna beat Real Madrid even with a red card. They performed, I think, how we thought they would. They really got to figure out this Asensio situation, because he is just not good. I'm sorry. I don't get it. He seems so unreliable. They definitely have better center backs available, especially because Rudiger is back. They just signed that Dean kid. I can't. I don't know why he's starting. I really don't. Let me know what you guys thought about these games. I think the Club World Cup, again, still looking great. I think it's still entertaining. We only got more to see, so yeah, man. Let me know what you guys thought. I'll see you guys later. Peace.